Welcome to day 38 of our 2790. Today we're going to read Acts 19, 20, and 21. And it's the conclusion of the formation of the church in Ephesus. The riots finished, and they've started the church, and Paul is getting ready to leave. He's been there for a little while now. He says his farewell to the Ephesian elders. There's some tears, they cry, and he says to them that he has to do this. He can't stay. It seems like he wants to stay there. He wants to come back, but he says he has to go to Jerusalem. And the telling thing is he's compelled by the Spirit to go to Jerusalem. It's not something that he wants to do, and very often that's a truth that we have to face, is the Spirit of the living God often will compel us to do something that we don't really want to do. But God will say, this is something I need you to do. And so Paul's kind of in that circumstance where God needs him to move on to Jerusalem. He says to them, I am going to Jerusalem, not knowing what will happen to me there. And it's pretty clear that he gets a sense that this is not going to be a good trip. And when he says goodbye to the Ephesians, he's saying goodbye to them, kind of knowing he's not going to see them again. And so he goes to Jerusalem. He gets arrested. And in his arrest, there's soon going to be a trial and a defense. But again, it's people who don't want to hear. They don't want to understand what's true. Once people have made up their mind that what Jesus represents and who he is and his death and crucifixion and resurrection is not true, there's no convincing them. Because the only thing that can really convince a person to believe the truth of the gospel is they humble themselves to the Spirit of the living God that's inside of them, and they allow God to have precedent and priority over their own minds, their intellects, and even their hearts. And some men and some women are just not willing to be humble like that. And so Paul knows this, and he goes to Jerusalem, gets arrested, and in chapter 22, what we're going to read tomorrow, is going to begin his trial there in Jerusalem.